Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. You probably think, what are Darcy and I doing? Being silly. You're being silly. Good morning, people. We should all be silly. Welcome to
Yes,
Awaken.
we're having our good morning cup of
Good
tea.
morning. Good morning, Darcy, my lovely angel. So good to see you. Wonderful.
Good morning, Jemima. I'm happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you. And yes, we are in silly moods. That's wonderful. Happy welcome to Sunday Awaken Positive Power, where we are talking about depression, mental awareness, and suicide through awareness or suicide prevention. Guys, just a couple of things. Yes, heavy topics. We know we're just trying to normalize these conversations just so we can know we are not alone and everyone suffers some form of depression or mood swing or whatever it may be, and that's okay. As Darcy keeps saying, big feelings are okay as much as small ones. Any feeling should be embraced, and we're here to just help you help yourself or help someone else or help each other, just to feel like we are not alone and we're in this together, and we're also able to laugh a little and have a bit of fun, be silly, but we hope that also the topics that we cover can really sort of spur some conversation with you and your friends or just inspire you in some way. And if you have a topic of conversation or a question, don't forget you can write us down below, and ask whatever you like. And also there is a disclaimer. I have to mention there's a disclaimer down below. So please read it. Yes, below. Please read it and know that if there is anything scary that's happening or that you just feel like you need to reach out to a professional number, there's that 1-800-suicide number. So please make sure you know that you are not ever alone in a situation which may feel like you are or someone else is.
Right.
Darcy, hello.
That was a mouthful, huh?
Yeah, every week, and I don't know. It's funny because it's such a tender topic,
Yeah.
and I real that's my whole thing is to make sure it isn't such a tender topic. But you're just saying 1-800-suicide. Just it's such a it's a really heartbreaking thing to think that it's so taboo. Taboo to be able to that I get sweaty thinking about mentioning this. It's like it's such a shame that it gets people have to get to that stage where they feel like they're so alone and they've got to take it out, got to go. It's just, I hope we can make a shift in this to us. I really do hope we can help somebody, one person to millions, and then or that one person helps someone next, and that ripple effect, that domino effect is the way we help people. But it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just such a
It's
sad
so
thing.
lonely. It's so lonely,
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's really good to talk about it. And I really like to repeat this one thing over and over is that your feelings are your power. And so if we let our feelings overwhelm us, we're not understanding the gift of the power of our feelings. So much of society is about shaming us for our feelings. If we get mad, women are always considered shrews, or, whatever. If we get
Beans.
Yes, and if we are sad, then we're considered crybabies. And if we're, scared, then we don't have our resiliency intact and all that kind of garbage. I mean,
And 10% men can't cry, like, because that means it doesn't make them a man. It's like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, YouTube. What the f is that? Like, you got to swear to that. Yeah, it's like that's harsh on a guy.
it
That's
is
not
hard. And the
feminine.
thing is
Sorry.
your anger, if we could address our anger right up front and make it healthy. Okay, you are angry. I see that. Okay, that's your do energy. So let's sit with your anger. Let's understand what you're angry about. Let's release the anger. And now let's go do something about the things that make you angry.
Yeah,
So,
it's
for
shift.
example, right, if we're angry about the way the government is operating, all right, understand that that's what your anger is about. Now, you want to do something, there are ways to do something. But if you act in your anger, then it becomes destructive and it's not a do energy, it's a destructive energy. But if you can say, hey, that makes me mad, that's not right, and then you run for office, get on a committee, etc., raise awareness, and you start doing things to benefit your community, then you're taking the active part of your anger and you're working with it to get something accomplished rather than trying to just destroy everything because you're angry. So there's a
It's a
difference.
catalyst for change, isn't it? Yeah.
Huh?
It can be a catalyst for change.
Catalyst for change, exactly. And the same thing with sadness. You know, when you embrace your sadness, and understand, you know, there's so much in the world that is so uh, heartbreaking at the moment. It opens you up to all of your compassion, and then your compassion towards yourself. And there's nothing wrong with feeling sad. Your sadness will diminish. All feelings diminish. They come up huge and overwhelming. And once you embrace them and you sit with them and you say, wow, I'm really sad today, and you honor it, then you can release it, because it can't sustain sadness continuum. You know, it comes and goes and comes and goes. So you got to be with it when it shows up, and then you got to be allowing it to release. You know, just like a wave
Yeah.
of
They
feeling.
say
There's
what?
a reason why they say it's a
Emotions are
wave of feeling.
energy,
Huh?
emotion. Emotions are energy, emotion. They say. So,
Yes, it's energy and motion.
that's a good one though, Dust, to start our topic. Sorry, I just wanted
Yeah.
everyone ready for this word? Jealousy.
Jealousy.
Jealousy, jealousy, people. It's a horror. We all know that horrible feeling that when you get jealous. I think everyone must have experienced jealousy, but that horrible, because you know it's an ugly feeling. It feels so sick inside. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes it feel dirty, kind of thing. Like it's just
Now,
uncomfortable.
I just have to challenge you a second.
Yeah. Okay.
So, for me, jealousy is a state of mind that elicits a feeling or a couple feelings.
Okay. 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 I'll take that. I'd like to take that. Yeah.
So, your jealousy starts in your mind with perception, starts in your mind with perception. Something's happening that elicits a feeling from you. Could be a combination of feeling, could be anger and sadness mixed together, and frustration. And then it doesn't know where to go. Do I go towards the object of my jealousy, or do I go towards myself with this? Right? Because it's a bitterness, it's a eating
Insecurity.
kind of feeling.
It's mistrust. It's an insecurity. It's all those sort of things that make it. Just for example, in a relationship, it makes it just so the tainted side of a relationship. Like it's one of the, I think that I keep saying ugly, and I will use that word because I find it with me. If it sits ugly in my heart, in my vessel, in my skin, it just feels like something I don't want to have a part of me. You know?
Yeah, to me it feels like it's
Yeah.
like termites.
Yeah.
Just eating away, eating away, eating away.
The eating away, the eating away. And it literally feels, I never thought of it as mentally, because that's a good point to ask, because I was talking to you before about how do we now just say, I'm going to use myself as course, guys, as an example, but having come out of a long-term sort of mistrusting relationship where I was perceived as the one who had the problem of being insecure and being misjudging and misdoubting, but then to know at the end that all my paranoia was actually right, was founded. So I wasn't insecure. I was actually, my instinct was right, and the jealousy was totally acceptable in a way. But now I'm in a healthy place, and I'm finding it, and a really very healthy beginning of a relationship, just trying to be as honest and authentic as possible. But I'm finding that it's a habit of mine that I get jealous, and I'm finding confusing to trust, is that my instinct right again, or is this me mentally damaged from a long-term effects of the unhealthy relationship, you know?
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, when you've been with somebody who's dishonest, you know, it hones um your spidey sense. You know, it
Yeah.
hones that distrust part of you. And then once that distrust part of you gets alerted, then it stays on high alert. It stays
Yeah.
on high alert. and it kind of moves outward from there. And this is where we get into the problem when people become man haters or woman haters, because they've been hurt so much. But I think, again, it goes back to the self, with trusting the self and having good, strong boundaries and having your own life and your own goals set up.
Yes.
So when you're healthy and
Yeah.
you have stuff going on in your life and you're doing stuff and you're open and you're honest and you're transparent and you're not clinging to somebody else to make your life happen, um, and you have good communication going on, then there's a lot less jealousy happening because
True.
you are loving who you are and what you are doing, and you want to share that. If you're trying to share that with somebody who's not present with you,
Yeah.
if they're not present, then that should be a signal to you
Of course.
that
Of
that
course.
person has something else going on, and maybe, cool it off for a bit.
Okay. Challenge.
Yeah.
So what if currently the person, for example, that I'm with, is 100% available, like 100, like so much so I've never experienced someone's life that's kind of, oh my god, it's very exciting, but it's also kind of, wow, I've never had what this could be, a true relationship, a healthy, true relationship. We can work through things together. We can talk about things straight away. Boundaries are set, as I said last week. I put up my first boundary. Oh, all this journey. Yeah, first one. But then, so when it comes to that jealousy thing, like, why is my head going? Is it because, do you think I'm so unused to this possibly healthy relationship that my it can't be true? My jealousy, my whatever it is, my mental thing, the unhealthy part of it is still so insecure, and the part that I haven't healed yet by myself, which is also showing me that I need a lot of work to do. But it's like, it's not, I am living, I'm not dependent, I'm not codependent. I'm working very hard to be conscious of that. I'm not in a unhealthy frame of mind in terms of deep damage. I'm not on drugs. I'm not, I've got someone who's available, who's talking to me. So why the hell? Then I get panicked again. I go, is this my instinct? Or is that, or my intuition, which I'm trusting so much, and that freaks me out because I don't want to trust that, because there's nothing to be untrustworthy about. Like, it's just what is going on?
I mean, it could be both. It could be you could have an instinct that's correct. You could also just be that's your normal state of being for what, 15 years?
Yeah,
You were like that for 15 years. You got to break that pattern
yeah,
um, and set yourself on path. So I would say the best way to know what's really going on is to meditate on it. I
yeah,
mean, to literally say, okay, here's a moment where I'm starting to feel that jealous insecurity in my mind and in my body. So let me sit down and write down, what is the circumstance that's creating this insecurity at this moment. Are they giving me too much attention? Are they too busy? Am I worried that it's going to disappear? I don't know. So let me write down where I'm at, and then let me get really quiet and go into the feeling and release the thoughts. And you'll answer your own question in your silence.
yeah,
It's hard to answer those questions when your mind is in chatter,
yeah, yeah,
because you've got you're weighing everything by the past
yeah.
and by the future. So to be really present with what's going on here is your challenge. To
What do you
say,
think? Sorry.
that's right.
What do you think? Like, proactively or consciously being proactive in working out what was going on to heal with myself.
Yeah.
I find a lot, I can understand a lot of it, because it's such a sad thing, because I see other girls prettier than me, skinnier than me, the usual thing we all do, people, don't we?
Right.
On us. I mean, I don't want to say shame on us, because I don't want to, the last thing we need to do is beat ourselves up for that, because we need to just hold our hand and go, God, you're beautiful, stop, But it's amazing to see, like, how it doesn't even come from him necessarily, because he's actually just one, like, his eyes, I turn around, his eyes just on me going, hey, And I'm like, oh my God, I've got nothing to worry about. What am I doing? But I'll see other people and not trust them. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's so that it comes, and it makes me feel like a tiny little vulnerable girl. I go back to that 12-year-old girl.
Right.
And it's really, really sad. And I think, no, like, and that other girl, I should embrace her beauty. I want to embrace that and not be jealous and angry at it. Like, good for her.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also, your trust issues, your trust was broken a number of times throughout your life, your trust and your safety. So those are big issues. When you were a kid, your trust was broken physically. And then again, as a teenager, your trust was broken. And then as an adult woman. So these are all first chakra. These are all first chakra issues. Your first chakra is all, feeling safe and secure in your body, food, clothing, shelter, sexuality, right?
And I'm a Pisces, so I'm not exactly grounded anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to, guys, I will bring astrology into it, but it's true. Like, I am a sort of wafty person. And when I meet like someone who can ground me, it's kind of like I go, wow, I really am like up here. So it's kind of hard for me to feel that sense of stability in myself.
So working on your first and second chakras are really important for you. When you start out your meditation, really work to get your grounding first. Get grounded before you get into any higher meditation. Get yourself really, really physically present. And then, also, Jemima, that goes back to self-judgment. When you are with somebody who's looking at you with that loving, feeling, and then you see a beautiful young girl walk by and you think, oh no, he's going to see her instead. I just want to throw this thought to you. Here's a game you can play with yourself. So you can say to yourself, so what? There's always going to be someone who is taller than you. So what? There's always going to be someone who's prettier than you. So what? There's always going to be someone who's smarter than you. So what? There's always going to be someone who's funnier than you. So what? They'd have to be pretty funny. Really funny, in my opinion.
I love us. We just might have to throw on that one.
Jump on it. There's always going to be somebody richer. There's always going to be somebody, more together. There's always going to be somebody more talented. There's always going to be somebody more petite. There's always going to be somebody more curvy. The range of something else it's so what? So what? There is only one Jemima Godsall that I know, and that's you. And so when those voices come to you of, oh, that person's better, you just have to say, so what? I'm the only person like this. And then you turn around and you look at that person and say, do I like that person that I'm with? Do I like him?
Yeah.
And if you say, yeah, I really like him. All right. So what about everything else? Let me put my attention back on him for a minute, get it off of myself. And I'll just go back and, and say something nice to him. I like your shirt. I like your hair. You have such a nice smile.
You know what's going on in my head though? Like when you say for what? It's that challenge, the good and the bad, the ego versus my spirit, my soul.
Ego.
It's like, so what? Let me tell you, so what?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, shh.
Yeah.
I think it's it shows too, like, they say don't wait after you come out of a relationship, do your own healing, because there's some things you can't do in a relationship. And I understand that, and I have this new thing going on, which is, I think, too soon, but I'm willing to see if I can work with my troubles with him as well. Be authentic. But it is one of those points where you see, oh, that's so like something that I don't know. I think it's good that it's come up because of the relationship, because I can see how vulnerable I still am and how unhealthy that sort of thought pattern is, and it needs to be broken. Right. But also, I don't want to feel like, is it too soon to be feeling like that? Because I need to heal, find my self-confidence first, my true self-confidence, my true self-worth, wholeheartedly, to then when I fall into that, will it have just disappeared or will it still be there? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those.
Yeah. See, my take on it is keep your attention on your work, keep your attention on yourself, keep your attention on what you need to accomplish, and then just be happy to go see your friend. You know, that just keep it really simple. You know, there's your friend, be happy to go see him, you know, go be happy to hang out, and then put your attention back on your work. And really, and if the jealousy stuff comes back, say, I got to keep my attention on my work. This is just another way to derail myself from the work I need to do. It's just another derailer, you know, because it's another way of having me spiral into big feelings that I can't manage. And at least it's a tangible place I can point my finger and say, well, here I go again. Here I go again. And if you were a drug user, this would be a good reason to do drugs again.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So now what you're doing is you're saying you're recognizing these things, you're recognizing it. And so now you take the opportunity to meditate on it, to understand it deeper, and keep your attention on your work. And if it's a worthwhile relationship, then that person will come along and support your work, you know, while they do their own work. If it's a destructive relationship, then they'll probably start getting jealous themselves, right? And then it'll be all about the relationship and not about the individuals working together in partnership toward a common goal, right? Right. So, you know, what an idea.
Right. That's us on that. Are you a jealous person, or have you been a jealous person?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, being a
highly emotional people too can be like highly, like it can be a trigger. Jealousy can be a horrible thing to go to. Such a
awful. It's awful. It's just overwhelming. I mean, having been an actress for years, you know, your best friend gets the part that you wanted, and so part of you goes, "Yay!" The other part of you goes,
"Yep, it's horrible, isn't it?"
Right, all this kind of stuff. And then, you know, I was always comparing myself. I was in a very destructive relationship for years where that person did not like themselves at all. And so they would get into relationships with people that I think they felt validated them. So when I was a working actress, I was valuable. When I was not a working actress, I was not at all necessary anymore.
Oh wow.
Because they had no sense of self.
But what about you? You're the one who's out of work that time. Like, God, you got to deal with that on top of that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, let me tell you. And it becomes self-sabotaging because then, you know, every part becomes more important. Getting work, it has to be to validate my sense of self-worth. You know, I was only really worth something if I was working in a role that was really paying me what I was worth, and that if I didn't get that part, then I wasn't worth anything. You know, I wasn't. Pretty. Oh, it was so destructive. It was so destructive, and yeah, it really came from, you know, my family being super critical. I came from a very critical family where everything you put on, everything you did was accompanied with a comment by someone in the house. Oh, you're wearing that? Oh, that's very Hollywood of you. Oh, those are very bright colors. Oh, you're working on that? Oh, you're going there with your friends? Oh, you must be having, I mean, like every single, you could not do a thing in my family without getting a comment from somebody somewhere that was judging your choices or judging your actions or judging your worth. And so of course I would go to relationships that would do the same thing because that's what I learned, right? So of course I picked people that were highly critical of themselves, and then how they dealt with it was to be critical of the whole world because they had such deep insecurities. And so, and oftentimes in relationships we bond from our wounds. We
Oh
bond
yeah.
from our wounds. So my wound was my insecurities based on all this criticism. And so the partners I would pick had lots of talent, lots and lots of talent, really talented people with really deep insecurities who were highly judgmental of themselves and so highly critical of the world around them.
Gosh.
And, so it took me a
Nice
long
word for you, Darcy.
Huh?
Nice choice.
Yeah. 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 So it took me a long time to really see that pattern. And so dealing with jealousy, that's why I call it's like termites. It just eats away at you. And if you really suspect something's going on, it probably is.
Yeah.
It probably is. If you're, because then you're probably not in a place where you're communicating. I mean, some people are really good at hiding
Yeah.
their behavior, but we kind of know when there's this separation.
I'm
Right.
gonna debate that right now because I'm going
Okay,
through that challenge,
okay.
which is really scary because yes, exactly. I agree 100% with you. On the flip side, I'm experiencing that you said that if it feels really, if your instinct is telling you that it's really happening, then it probably is. Like if you really feel that gut feeling and things show you all that sort of stuff goes towards it. We're not stupid. Humans aren't stupid like that. And
Right.
generally our instinct is telling, our intuition is telling us the right thing. But that creates this whole thing for me where I'm like going, there is nothing for me to be worried about. I do know that, and I do trust that, but my intuition is coming in, freaking out. But I don't think it is. I think that's like not my intuition. It's my, as you said, it comes from that mental thing that creates that feeling. But I'm confused because because
Yeah.
I don't think it is right. And I mean, about it, and it's confusing because I think like, but hang on, that's my intuition, but I want to trust myself, but that's not. So I know that's not worth trusting right now.
Yes. So conversation,
So it's
that's the big thing.
mentality.
Yeah. So you have those two things. You have two tools. One is you're learning how to communicate with the person. Oops, you're frozen. Oh, I lost you. So, there we are. Hi. Nope, you're frozen. Can't hear you. So let's pause a second. Let's pause.
I have my frozen. Can you hear me?
Now you're back. There we are.
Hello. Sorry, everyone.
Whoops.
That's a first for a while.
Yeah.
I see there's something going on.
I tell
Anyway,
you.
so what were you going to say, Daz?
I was going to say that you have two tools to use. And this is when you start taking control of your mental awareness, your mental health awareness, and your emotional life. And you say to yourself, am I communicating honestly with this person? Am I being,
Right. Okay.
am I able to communicate? Do I feel truthful in my communications or am I holding back? And the other thing is you've got to sit and meditate on it.
Yeah,
Sit
because
down
that's when the true intuition. Yeah,
in the
yeah,
quiet.
that's very.
Quiet.
Yeah, it's
My friend, I have a friend who's a really accomplished yogi practitioner, and she meditates. And I remember when she was first learning how to do all that, and she was in a relationship, and she was like, "What do you think of this relationship?" I'm like, "It sounds really healthy." And she's like, but there's this and that and this and that. I'm like, well, you're only going to know if you sit and get quiet with it and meditate on it. And so she did that often. And then she said one day she was sitting and meditating, and it came to her that this was the best person in the world for her. and that all the stuff that she was questioning was all her old baggage. And
Yes.
so she said that when she realized that, then he asked her to marry her, and she meditated
Oh,
on that. And she's like, I would be a fool not to marry this person because all that stuff was all my old stuff. And they've been married ever since. You know,
it's so
it's a,
beautiful. Oh,
yeah, but
goosebumps.
yeah, but her,
Yay, happily ever after. It won't happen, guys.
it can happen.
Yay.
It can.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But, you know, the idea here is that she was at the beginning of her work, much like you are.
yeah. Okay.
And
Okay,
she
that's
really
encouraging.
had,
Thank you.
she had to do her work. She had to do
Yeah,
her practice
yeah.
because we have to get out of our loop thinking, our
Yep.
judgment, our critical nature. We have to get out of that critical, those critical voices, and they're all fear based. Everything we're talking about right now is all fear based. It's
Definitely,
all,
because I mean, when you go like, so what? As you said, so what? If this happens, I'm gonna be okay. I have my life. I have my friends. I have my
yeah,
family. I'm gonna be okay. I've survived a lot more than just this. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, so it's like it is one of those moments where you go, especially as you get older. Like, so what? Like, I'm gonna be okay, and if I can give it a chance, cool. If not, then cool. Hey, like, hello, shake my own head, sort of thing. Going, it's gonna be okay. So the fear is so, it feels like, yeah, it is. It comes back to that work, isn't it? You've got to step in and continue to do your own work, because it just seems like it's, I don't know. I'm lost for words in a way. Sorry, I'm just feeling a little lost for words today, but
yeah.
it's
Well, you know,
continuous work.
yeah,
It's continuous working on yourself, you know?
it is continuous because let's face it, we work continuously from the negative.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
work continuously every day for years and years from the negative perspective, you know, and our fear. And it's all that, you know, that misplaced fight or flight,
yeah, yeah.
because we are in constant um, survival mode. We're always in survival mode, but we don't really have a true survival primal situation. It's just like this mush mush continuum of survival crap that we're dealing with, you know, and it's driving in the car is a fight or flight response, right? Going to work, making a job happen, getting paid enough so we can pay our bills. Those are all survival issues that we're constantly dealing with, but it's not really tangible how much we do that on a day-to-day basis. Then if you're paying attention to news or if you are watching TV drama, then you're in the fight or flight response again. So we're in this smash continuum of fight or flight, fear-based reaction. And and then dealing with personalities at work and dealing with personalities at home. It's all, we're all kind of juggling all these kind of negative perspectives. And so our work is to go into the silence, into the quiet, and practice finding the clarity of thought by releasing the chatter, releasing the jealousy, and being really present with what's happening, you know, being really present with it.
Yeah,
Um,
so
so
true.
yeah, and it takes practice. It
Yeah,
takes absolute practice to get there, you know. Uh, I'm constantly challenged to do my practice,
yeah,
constantly challenged to do my practice. And I'll have days of just absolute funk
yeah.
where, you know, I light my candles and I say, okay, I'll be right back. I'll come right back. And then I do 100 other things rather
Yeah.
than sit
Yeah.
down and get quiet, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
writing about that the other day, saying, isn't it funny how, even though you know it's one of the best things you can do for yourself because you feel good afterwards, you celebrate the day, you celebrate the universe, how difficult it is to do something so pleasurable. You know, it's just so funny how it's challenging some days. Just get up and do something that you know is for your best worth or benefit.
Right.
Yeah, and how it is. It just that's human. That's the human challenge, isn't it? Human way, and we've got to just work through it. But when we do that on the days we don't feel like doing it, wow, how powerful is it? Those are those experiences, are those connections with our you know.
Yeah. Right. And I have all those critics come up when I sit down and do my sit. I have so many critical voices that I have to go flip that switch off, 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 that one, so that I can.
Are you okay? Like, how many more switches? I know, just joking. I know, we all.
I have a bunch of them. And let me tell you, all those critical voices, they all have a name, but they all have a name. I've named them all. I know which voice it is. That's creating that criticism in me. I do know where different ones come from. So
as
it
you
is.
said, it's way of life. Like we've been brought into negative thinking. So like, why not create a relationship with it so you can go, not you, Sandra. Sorry if there's any Sandras out there. I don't have a name called Sandra. No. But yeah, like it's better to know what's going on, and that's good because that's consciously connecting to your healing as well. Being able to personalize that, it makes you more in control of it.
Right. It does, and I think the important thing here that we're talking about is how that we all go through this. Everybody has to practice. I mean, that's why they call it practice, meditation practice, is because it's a continuous practice. If you're gonna deal with any group of people, you have to practice being present, because everybody's 50%. I can only take care of myself and my response. So how I deal with you and your stuff, I have to give you your 50% and I have my 50%. So I need to practice, because if we come together and you are inspiring in me a negative response, I got to own that. That's my negative response. That's, if you're just being who you are with whatever it is that's going on in you, and it elicits in me a big negative response, well, I need to own it. I need to understand it. I need to get quiet with it, because I'm 50% of that. Otherwise, you will have complete control over me. And then you get into blaming, right? Well, she did this and she did that, and etc. Right?
It's so much more. The more healing that I'm going through, being able to own the 50% of, particularly the negatives, is so much more empowering, because it gives you that I don't know, that relationship with your, like, you own that part, so you can't blame. I don't know, blaming on everyone else seems to be such a way to lose control. Like, you lose your own self-control, you lose your own self-worth, you lose your own self-being, you get that codependency thing. But as soon as you own it, even if it's the most harshest negative thing, you think, how could I be a part of someone hitting me, for example? How could I be a part of that? But I am, and to own that, it's like empowering to enable me to not get in that situation again. Like, what led up to that? How was I reacting? I can react differently, and that's not to say they might not strike someone else, but I know that I won't get myself into that situation, because there'll be a different scenario created, because my reaction will be different in the moment. Right. I won't hear my voice going, they need to get back and return. It'll be just different. I'll be able to say, I think I should walk away now. Like whatever it may be, but it's so much more powerful. And it's hard in those moments of really sad moments, or angry moments, or tragic moments, to own your 50, because you do want to go, no, it wasn't me, I'm just poor me. But it's not. It's like, no, that's the best time to embrace your ownership of whatever's going on between two people or more, or the group.
Right. And this is right. And this is not to diminish victims. No, I'm not saying that. If some terrible, right. If some terrible thing happened to you, and you were a victim of physical violence, I'm not saying that you have to own that. Not at all. Quite the opposite.
Afterwards, how we deal with it. How we choose it. Like, just say, for example, being damaged when I'm 12, and I could let that mess me up for the rest of my life. That's how. But granted, 12, go on, be the victim. But like now, if that 12-year-old still played the victim, That's my choice. Yeah, and that's where I go. No, I don't want to be drowned in that victim of the poor little girl. I want to empower myself. So that's the way you can change that. But yeah, I mean that's a tender subject, but yeah, it is still.
You don't want to stay in the victim place forever. So the circumstance might have been way beyond your control.
Exactly.
You are certainly not guilty of bringing it on yourself, not at all. But then it's time to make sure that you're not staying in a victim perspective forever, because then they are still abusing you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when you empower yourself to say, no, this won't ever happen again. I understand how I got there. It is not my fault. And I'm willing to release that. And then some of us have to learn the hard way. Sure, we bring people into our lives to help us learn self-value and boundaries and things that we wouldn't have learned if we didn't bring a certain person in our world to make things difficult.
Yeah,
right?
True.
So sometimes we have to learn. And so you really have to look at, can I take 50% of my responsibility from this relationship? I cannot take 100% of this relationship because there's another person involved, right? That's a whole different circumstance, right? So right now, you can only take responsibility for you.
Yeah. God, it's enough. Hey, Darcy, on that note, that heavy sort of closure to our topic, I'd love to ask you, can you do meditation or something today?
Yeah, let's do a meditation. Definitely. Let's lighten our spirit.
Some meditation. Heavy topic.
Yeah, it is, but I'm so glad we talked about jealousy and the mind and, finding the quiet inside. So,
and just wise to us, like, thank you, because you helped me with your feedback there, with your own idea regarding jealousy and things. It really put a perspective for me about the mental. Like it's not my kind of saying feeling, but it's actually no. It is my brain that has been damaged, and the survival technique for me to survive that moment, and it is just here, and that's what creates emotion. So it's not actually my. I think my instinct is just a little damage, or it's not my instinct. It's my anyway. You know what I mean? It's my brain. My brain. Okay.
We love that little brain of yours. We love your brain. Absolutely. It's so unique.
Totally.
So unique. All right. Let's turn our
brains down. Yeah.
Our inner voices off. And I think what we're going to do today is we're going to do a grounded meditation, but let's connect heaven and earth. If anybody is watching, you can do this a couple of different ways. So this can be a standing tree meditation. So you can stand or you can sit. If you sit, put your feet flat on the ground so that they are really connected to the ground beneath you, and get your spine very straight. So this is going to be a very conscious meditation that we're going to try to stay present with. And then you can have your hands up. So you can either rest your elbows or put your hands up this way, wherever you can do it in the most relaxed, sustainable position. Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and hold for a beat and exhale through your mouth, long and slow. That's right. And breathe easily. And again, breathe in through your nose, nice and full, and hold for a beat. And exhale through your mouth, long and slow. And then breathe easy. That's right. Notice how much easier your body breathes when you do that. And one more time, breathing in through your nose, nice and full. And hold for a beat. And exhale through your mouth, long and slow. Great. That's right. Breathing easily. In and out. Allowing your attention to rest on the tip of your nose. Feeling the temperature of the air going in through your nose. Feeling the temperature of the air going out through your nose. Perhaps there's a slight difference of the air that goes in and the air that goes out. And in your mind, just say the words in and out to whatever pace you're breathing in and out without trying to change your breathing in any way. In and out at your own time and your own pace. And if your mind wanders, bring it back to the tip of your nose, telling your thoughts, I'll think you later. In and out. So easy. In and out. And now place your attention on your body and how it's sitting. Just feel your body sitting in your chair or standing. Notice how straight your spine is. Relax your shoulders. Feeling your head connected to your neck. Your neck's connected to your shoulders. Your arms are connected to your shoulders. Your hands are connected to your arms. Shoulders are connected to your torso. Your torso is connected to your hips. Your hips are connected to your thighs. Thighs are connected to your knees and your lower legs. Your legs are connected to your feet. And your feet are connected to the ground. Sensing the ground beneath your feet. If you're wearing shoes, that's fine. Sensing the shoes on your feet. Then sensing those feet on the ground. If you're barefoot, that's fine. Feeling your feet. Feeling your toes. Sensing your feet on the ground. And knowing that the earth has a slight magnetic layer that you're attached to. Naturally, easily, everything's attached to the earth and connected through this easy magnetic layer. And now in your imagination, imagine that there is a bright orange, red, orange
electrical cord, like those really big ones that you see in wood shops or theaters or in the store, those big, thick, plugged in extension cords, red, and plug them into the bottoms of your feet and send them all the way down into the ground, down through the crust of the earth. Send those extension cords all the way down, down, down through the center, down to the very, very molten lava center of the earth, and plug it in. Sense it plugging in to that molten lava center of the earth. And now feel that beautiful, warm, red energy, like a red light, that easy electricity coming from the very center of Mother Earth. That warm, red, loving energy begins to move upward through your extension cords, all the way back up through the center of the earth, right up until it hits the bottoms of your feet. And just like a little light switch, your feet begin to glow a beautiful red light, warm, loving, healing energy. And that energy begins to come all the way up your legs, through your feet, up your ankles, up your lower legs, up your knees, through your thighs, all the way up into your hips. That beautiful red light seems to come up, moving upward through your body, all the way up into your heart, all the way up, up through your shoulders, through your arms, and out your hands, moving up and out from the very center of the earth, this very center of Mother Earth, the heart of Mother Earth. Beautiful red light energy moves upwards through your extension cords, into your feet, into your legs, up into your hips, up through your torso, into your heart, upward into your shoulders and your arms, and right out through your hands. The supply is endless. Mother Earth is charging you with this warm, loving, beautiful, red, healing energy. And just sit with that for a moment, allowing that to come up through you, move through you, connect you to your earth. And if your mind wanders, bringing it back to that beautiful red light, straight from the heart of Mother Earth to your heart and out your hands. And now imagine the top of your head, feeling the top of your head, and above the top of your head is a beautiful spinning golden egg. And that spinning golden egg of light cracks open and taps the top of your head, opening a beautiful white beam from the top of your head all the way up to the heavens, allowing that white light and golden light to tap the top of your head, and then feeling that golden light coming down through the top of your head, filling your head all the way down over your face, down your throat, down your shoulders. That light from the heavens seems to come down from the top of your head, all the way down your shoulders, down through your arms, mixing with that red light. coming down through your body, down through your torso. That white light mixes with the red light, going all the way down through your hips. Golden light comes all the way down through your legs, through your ankles, into the bottoms of your feet, and straight down your electrical extension cords to the very center of the earth. And as you breathe in, the red light comes up. And as you breathe out, the red light goes out. And as you breathe in, the golden light comes in. And as you breathe out, the golden light goes down into the very center of the earth. And in this moment, you are connecting heaven and earth. And just sit with that for a moment. I wish for you all to have a beautiful weekend where you can continue connecting heaven and earth through you, where you can find peace in your heart, in your mind, and your body. And right out through your hands, you'll share that peace with those you meet. And you can come back into the room whenever you like.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Ooh, grounded. My feet feel like they're suction capped.
My feet are hot. My feet feel really hot right now.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're so wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a gift. Woo! Okay.
Have a beautiful, peaceful, chilled out, loving weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll see.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Peace out.